all right. We are finally live. Thanks everyone to join our live stream today. It's me, Alex Getz, the CEO of Banxe.com, the fintech, the banking app that helps businesses across the world to operate together with fiat and crypto. And today with us is Lubov. Lubov, please present ourselves to us.
Hello, hello. My name is Lubov Fedorova. I'm CMO at AdSkill. AdSkill is a full cycle performance marketing agency that provides a global service to launch and scale ad campaigns. Alex, thank you for collaborating with us on this webinar. I'm very glad to be a part of it. And yeah, let's kick off.
Yeah, Lubov, thank you. I mean, it's fantastic experience, and when we created this content together, it was really, honestly, it was fantastic, and I hope it will be really valuable to our audience today. So let's start, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So, as you know, today the topic is to make your Web3 fintech business stand out, but the materials that we use here, they also applicable not only to fintech, but to any businesses, especially to businesses in Web3 market. So we are going to talk. So here's the agenda, by the way. Not agenda. We already presented ourselves, but let's go a little bit more in details. So, as I mentioned, my name is Alex Getz. I'm CEO of Banxe. I'm a marketing and business lecturer. I have 8 years of experience in marketing, sales, and management. I'm a global speaker, and I'm an expert in marketing strategies and sales strategies for startups and scale ups. Lubov, do you want to give some details about yourself to us?
I mean, after your presentation, I just want to add that I'm Lubov Fedorova. I have more than 6 years in global business expansion and marketing. I'm a techie adopter. So yeah, that's it, I guess.
Perfect, nice, thank you. So, talking what this webinar is about. So we have 5 topics today to discuss, and in the end, we will have Q&A session where you can ask your questions and we will try to answer. So the first topic is the trends in fintech for 2023. Then we will discuss the content marketing, the community engagement, the lead generation, and the last but not the least, the chatbots and voice search. Remember that Q&A session will be in the end, so stay tuned, prepare your questions, and ask them in the end. So the next question, the next slide is the trends, and I want to bring that to the table. Every year there is a trends, and we know that trends they are slightly similar every year. It's nothing extraordinary, nothing unique, but just mentioning that artificial intelligence, especially because of ChatGPT 3, it's really trending right now, and everyone is talking about it. Like, I mean, my Twitter and LinkedIn is full of this ChatGPT 3. Everyone is talking, everyone is using it. By the way, Lubov, are you using any AI in your everyday operations?
I mean, actually, about the GPT, we are using it. I'm personally using it, at least trying to, because I'm involved into the communication for the website, social media, or email marketing, and I mean, copywriting, and like you can actually create nice text using this ChatGPT. What do you think? And it's actually quite a good quality.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. And talking about the next trend is the crypto commerce. So more and more e-commerce merchants are starting using different crypto solutions to accept cryptocurrency in their online stores. Also talking about cryptocurrencies, the debit cards with crypto is becoming more and more popular, and I believe that 2023 will be the year of a real hype around different crypto cards. Also QR codes, the QR codes, they are here for I guess already like a dozen, like a decade so far, and so much, like, I mean, across the Europe people are really using QR codes. So I believe that 2023 a lot of offline stores, especially offline stores, will start using QR codes. Buy now, pay later. I mean, about that everyone is talking for the last 5 years, and it's a really big hype around this market. Also new investment solutions because of the global crisis and really high level of inflation. I believe that in 2023 it will be more and more different investment solutions. Also, NFT and metaverse. I mean, 2021, 2022, it was all about NFTs and metaverse, and I believe that this trend will be also in 2023. And the last but not the least is the rising lead price, market competition, and decreasing LTV of a client. Lubov, do you experience that, by the way, in your job?
The leading price.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna cover this in more details, I think, in my last slide. But absolutely, you can see this tendency.
All right, great, perfect. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So the content marketing.
Yeah, well, Alex, all that you've covered is just another indication that the Web 3.0 is forming a more open and interconnected world, and it's retaining the ownership rights of users and removes the authorizing organizations from the operations. This all enables transparent peer-to-peer transaction between users, and overall, it forms a socio-economic shift. And we can even talk about the whole marketing paradigm shift. And for example, NFT, they are super popular these days, right? Um, Sorry. Yeah, excuse me, I had a technical problem. So as we know that
No worries.
NFT are super popular these days, and but did you know that business already began incorporating them into their digital marketing strategies? Have you in Banxe?
Not really, to be honest. Like, I mean, I know that a lot of companies doing that already, but we are not really into that. But we have a plan for that in 2023. So stay tuned and stay updated with Banksy because there's something cool coming soon.
Yeah, well, that sounds really exciting. But talking about associating a virtual product with the NFT, you can promote it, the NFT, and divert it related to the traffic. So, to, for example, your business or e-commerce site, and all of this is just boosting your sales. If we're talking about the prominent cases of NFT, let's, for example, mention the big name fast food company like a Taco Bell. They really tapped into the NFT craze. That they launched a series of taco themed NFT in 2021, and the initial price was around $2, but later on the resale price was like around $180,000. Like, how crazy is that, right?
It
Another
is.
prominent NFT case is the Marriott Bonvoy that launched their travel program also based on the NFT. But if we're talking about the marketing side of NFT, Twitter is becoming more powerful marketing platform for that. And many NFT enthusiasts, they hang out on Twitter. It's very active threads there. But besides just a community, you can also really use it and utilize for the advertising, like paid advertising campaigns on the Twitter. Like, you really need to look into the Twitter if you are having NFT products.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But you know what? I guess the first question from our audience, Taco Bell and Marriott is really big brands with big budgets. But what you need to do when you are a small startup, when you just started, can you actually use NFTs?
I mean, it's applicable for also if you're just an artist. If you create your own NFT art, so you can create a hype about it. You can just create threads on Twitter and then try to sell it as high as you can. So it's literally like that. But overall, when we're talking about the content marketing and incorporating NFT into it, we're talking about the boost of your brand awareness, and it's also affecting the personalization and customer loyalty as well. It's like given another twist to the user interaction and community building around this NFT craze, you know.
Yeah, sure. But just the question: do you know any cases within the fintech market?
uh, in tech and NFT.
Yeah. I mean, fintech and NFT. Do you know any cases here?
I mean, I don't have it outside of my head just right now. Maybe we need to.
I believe that our audience they can have some ideas. If you know any projects, any cases like that, just share in comments, because that's really interesting. Because in my opinion, NFT is really powerful tool especially if you're targeting Gen Z, right?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
And you definitely need to concern that NFT is not a cheap way to bring clients, in my opinion. But in the same time, it's interesting how banking and fintech, how they can use NFT without big budgets. I mean, like a fintech startup, right? That's your thing. So if you have any ideas, guys, just share in the comment. Let's go to the next slide, right? So the community engagement. So we just been talking about the content marketing, and content marketing is useless if there is zero engagement from the community. And from my point of view, we can discuss two ways to engage your community: is to educate them and to explain how to invest in your product, how your product can become their investment partner, let's say, right? So the educational vector is one of the most popular and actually one of the easiest one, because you just create some educational content, webinars like we do right now, right, Lubov? Or maybe you have some articles, or you're creating a YouTube channel with, all this how to, and how to, I don't know, invest in Apple, or how to invest in Tesla, or how to buy stocks, or how to buy cryptocurrency, how to sell cryptocurrency. It's really easy to create content, but the
But
competition there is really,
you know,
really, really high. Pardon?
I wanted to add here, yes, it's quite easy itself. It's not like a high mathematics, but also it's really a systematic and long feeling process. It's not just a one-off thing. You really need to have a
That's
strategy
true.
and structure in it. So
No, that's true, and that's what I wanted to say. That uh, it's not only time consuming, but it's the competition is very, very high there. Because, I mean, if we're talking about, you know crypto community, we have Binance Academy, which is one of the biggest educational resource, that where you can find all the information about the blockchain, DeFi, cryptocurrencies, and all of this stuff. You also have CoinMarketCap and all other websites that can explain everything to you, actually. And creating something unique when it comes to educational content is really, really hard, and you need to be like really creative in that way. But the second thing is that you're creating people who really are in love with your brand, or they love your idea, your goals, your you know and that's much easier when you're creating something like Apple is not about education, right? They are not trying to educate someone. Apple is all about the cool products and the lifestyle. So if you can create somehow a lifestyle product, it can be a bank, but bank can be a lifestyle product as well. Because if you're using Revolut, that means that you're all this, digital nomad guy who knows how to, he travels a lot. He's a startupper probably, and all this stuff. And if you use, I don't know, Deutsche Bank, so more traditional bank, it means that you're not that digital nomadish, let's say, right? So when you create a product, think about creating something which we call lifestyle product. And believe me that if you're giving a big value to the community, they will be really engaged with you, with your team, with your product. They will become advocates, and then you will have a lot of referrals. That's very important, that referrals will come to you for free, actually. And that's the cool thing. So yeah, so let's go to the next slide, right? Or Lubov, maybe
no,
do
no,
you have
no,
something
hold
here?
on, hold on. I need to actually add a little bit information on here. But
Sure.
everything that you've covered is really super on top. But what many people don't realize is that the definition of community, specifically in banking, and the scope of significance it holds for the industry is really immense. But why is this so huge for the banking? Because all of these trends and technologies that we covered in the trends, it's still like an early adoption of it, and not a lot of people really understand how it works. So we really need to create a community and engage your audience, teach it, and I don't know, like provide various announcements as well. The community also can create a hype about your project, which is also super important for marketing. And here, as you said correctly, that the community is divided into the two vectors. So one of it is educational, where the core is the product itself and the user training, educational aspects of it. But another type of community engagement is the product investment community, where the core is the demand for the asset, with the central point to work on the speculation and the liquidity and overall economy of the token. Because the main purpose of this community, that the community must believe in the trading and stability of the token too. So we are trying to avoid the pump and dump situation here. So strengthening the belief in the token and associating it not with the actual cost, but with the stable coin. And one last thing, that when you are creating your community, you need to actually keep in mind the fact that the content you are creating, it's targeting different categories of people. We're talking about the bloggers, the ambassadors, and the early adopters as the first level. And then we're talking about the funds and crypto investors that also hold quite big checks, and the launch pads and market makers. And finally, the big funds. So the content that you create, the language that you're talking with, it needs to be adjusted for the groups that you are targeting. Yeah, so that's
Thanks.
it. That's enough
Yeah,
for the community engagement.
yeah, thanks. I mean, that's really valuable comments. Thank you, Lubov, here. All right, let's go further. So, can you give us a little bit more details? Because I already mentioned Binance Academy, but
Yeah,
I
well,
believe you can give some details here, right?
I can add one thing that we at Skill, as a performance marketing agency, we are not a fintech company, but we're also creating our community based on the educational aspects of it. It's called AdSkill Academia, and it's full of really valuable and interesting information. So if you are really interested in all things performance marketing, please welcome and just enjoy our community there and join it. Do you have your community, by the way, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we do, of course. I mean, we have over 15,000 people in our community right now, and we're trying to create a lot of different content. And I mean, webinars is the part of our community engagement strategy. We also working hard on our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just like us in a comment, please. So just show that we have our lovely subscribers from YouTube here. We also working hard on our Twitter, Reddit, and Telegram. So the core social medias for every Web3 startup, and that's what we do actually. We trying to engage them in different ways. We have also different giveaways, different contests, and that's what we do on a weekly, monthly, daily basis. But in my opinion, the biggest value from our community is that we are sharing a lot of different information. Not only that is created by us, but also we can, if we find something cool from even our competitors, we can share that. And I believe that when community is not the distribution channel of your own content, that's what you need to understand. When you create a community, so you need to share all the content from the internet. You need to discuss news. You need to discuss new project. You need to explain people why Binance is good or bad, for example. Not because Binance is good and Crypto.com, for example, is bad or good as well. It's not the case. So if you're a Binance community, for example, you need to show that there is other players on the market, and actually Binance is not alone here, but Binance is good because XYZ, right? So it must be a conversation, it must be a dialogue in your community, because if you consider your community channels as a distribution channel of your own content, it's not going to work for sure. All right, so let's go to the
Very
next
true.
slide, right?
Yeah, it's a very organic shift to the next slide, because we're going to be covering another instrument that can engage your users. And here we are
Yeah.
talking about the MAA sessions that boosting your trust, as well as they improve credibility and transparency. Do you practice MAA sessions, by the way, in Banxe?
We like not at this very moment, to be honest. Like we had our EMEA session in August, I guess. I believe it was August or July, and we are planning, number of MA sessions this year for sure. We're also planning different giveaways, and probably some kind of community drops. It's not going to be exactly a community drop, but again, if you're not subscribed to our Telegram, Twitter channels, LinkedIn, YouTube, you must do this now. There will be something. But yes, we do practice MA sessions, and we plan a few of them. You are more than welcome to join them, actually, as a
Yeah,
host.
well, next time for sure, because I am really a big fan of Banxe now.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, do you want to share some thoughts about MA sessions, about this kind of community engagement, or should I?
I mean, yeah, you can try to do that.
Yeah, I have some ideas about AMA sessions I want to share, because when we talk giveaways, community drops, and ambassador drops, it's more about distribute, giving away money, and this is really a good way to get your first audience, especially in the beginning, or to get more engagement and more exposure when you're a scale up. But AMA session is the part of a content strategy, and it's really gives your audience, your advocates, your community a slightly more details about founders, about your project. So AMA session stands Ask Me Anything, right? So whenever you're a startup, doesn't matter if it's Web3 startup, it can be a Web2 startup as well, and you just launched, it's really good to have monthly AMA sessions, maybe with different medias, different channels. One AMA session can be a YouTube session, another one can be a LinkedIn session, but you really need to use them to give more details to your audience and to your potential clients about what are you doing and why you're doing. Also, what we consider when we do MA sessions, that your potential investors, they can be interested in what's your idea behind, who are the founders, what's the team is about, and the MA session is the perfect way to explain what you do. Also, you can use MA session as a part of your podcast strategy. Unfortunately, we're not talking about podcasts in this webinar, but maybe we'll create another one where we can talk about how podcasts can become a really powerful content marketing channel and bring more and more leads to you. But AMA session is really easy to create audio format.
Yeah, and like overall, it's really improves the credibility and transparency, and to a greater extent to investors, as you mentioned before. Yeah, so probably we need to change the slide, and I'm gonna be talking about the lead generation.
Sure.
Yeah, so we've covered right now more new techniques and instruments to generate the leads. But right now, I'm going to be telling you like the traditional way to do it to promote your brand or product. And we're talking about the advertising sources. So for the fintech industry, when we are talking about launching ad campaigns, the tricky part of it is the licensing part of the products. Because for every type of the advertising source, you have to really, they require licensing of the company to prevent end users for the scam products. And when we're talking about the crypto licenses, conventionally they can be two types of crypto licenses. Is the one that allows to exchange from the crypto to crypto, and another one that's allowing to exchange from the fiat to cryptocurrency. So overall, generally, you will have to supply the documentation, which is the specialized crypto licensing specifically for the regulation of the cryptocurrency exchange. And another one is just the traditional licensing that regulates financial transaction. So this is just the basis that we really need to understand, but this is super important. Without this, you cannot do anything, anything else really.
Yeah, I want to comment that a bit, because when we talk about Facebook, it's not only Facebook. If you want to advert your project on Facebook, Reddit, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, anything, you need to have licensing in house, and you need and be careful, because if you have, for example, a license for European Union, and you want to advertise in UK, first of all, I mean, hopefully Facebook or other advertisement platform is not going to let you advertise. But if you will advertise without a license in an area you want to advertise, you will get a fine, and probably you will get some problems with your local regulator. So really be careful, because when we talk about fintech, when we talk about cryptocurrencies, when we talk about anything, consider risks for clients and must be licensed.
Absolutely, yeah,
You
that's
better double check that, right?
yeah, that's very valuable comment. That it's a licensing and the geography, of course. And another one problematic area for the lead generation is the reaction of platforms for the triggering words. For example, crypto is still very considered to be a volatile category, and the market had its own portion of the scam, even if for the large projects. So sometimes Facebook, for example, it reacts, so it doesn't go through the moderation, everything connected to the word crypto. So sometimes we have to really adjust the terminology. And instead of the cryptocurrency, you're saying the digital currency or the digital asset, and that's allowing you to get through the moderation. And here, if we're talking about, for example, another triggering words or really prohibited words for the Facebook policy is the alcohol and tobacco. It's strictly prohibited. But there is one case that we can mention here, and it's really interesting because we're talking about the NFT game. It's called Drunk Robots, and they were launching their ad campaigns, and they had some problems with the promotional materials for the launch. And how they solved this problem, they actually wrote the word oil on the bottle for their promotional materials, and that's helped them to get through the moderation. But NFT, generally speaking, it doesn't require any licensing, and it really complies with the policies of the advertising sources quite easily. It's it's less prohibited vertical. So again, want to say it again. We need to emphasize on the licensing and earn certification, and then we need to really do a high quality moderation. They also we need to moderate not just promo materials, but everything going down to the funnel. It's the pre-landing, and another good way to do that is actually integrating a pre-land quiz into the funnel, and integrating questions like, how long have you been in the crypto? Do you know such a functionality? It really helps you to get a better conversion rate. And one more perk is to integrate the bonuses and benefits for the new users, like bonuses for the first deposits or increased percentage, and some exclusive features. That's giving you a better offer, more interesting, and you definitely will be having a better results of your ad campaign. So I was covering more mostly now about the Facebook, but it's not necessarily applicable just for this platform. We can be talking about Google, the Twitter, the LinkedIn. Yeah, but another type of the advertising sources that I wanted to cover is the in-app traffic sources. Can you please change the slide?
Yeah, I can, but I have one question to you
Of
when we
course,
talk
yes.
about this,
Go for
because
it, please.
I mean, I know you want to talk about in-app traffic, but we're talking about Facebook here, and the question is like, if you compare Facebook with Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn, and Google, can you grade them in a way like the most efficient to the least efficient? So like Facebook is which channel generates the most leads actually? When we talk about the classical channels, not in-app traffic or any native advertisement.
Yeah, well, I think I cannot give you the straight answer for that, because it all depending on a lot of factors that we should consider, like the geography, the product that you are trying to promote, and your promo materials. Everything is really, it's a complex solution. So I'd rather, if anyone from our audience has something like that in their mind and they are trying to understand what works better for them, I suggest them to come to AdSkill for our free audit for your product, and we can really look into your case and advise you which advertising sources to use, and how to actually scale your ad campaigns, because yeah, it's the right combination of traffic sources, and that's what's going to give you a maximum effect overall.
Perfectly, but thank you for answering my question. Let's go to the next slide, right?
Yeah, so now we are talking about the in-app advertising, and of course, it has some pros and cons, like everything. But when we are talking about the positive aspects of the in-app advertising, that it has really huge audience, and the number of users and app downloads is constantly growing. So that means that the number of potential leads is also growing, and for example, in-app traffic sources, they usually allow you the very convenient targeting functionalities, so that you can really target the app categories, the device, and all these specific features that you are looking for in your target audiences, as well as the ads will be seen by the real users. This is reducing the risk of the bots and clicks. And if you have created very converting promo materials, you can also use them to running in the different in-app traffic sources of the same category. But we need to mention also the negative aspects, that the CPI rates are quite high actually. And to get really good traffic, you will have to raise it by 15-20% on the average. And of course, to have really and to scale the ad campaign, we are talking about serious budgets. But as well as I say to you, you can really optimize your traffic. So you need to analyze your promo materials, check the most converting one, and see like what have the best performance. This will help you to get rid of non-converting promo materials and app traffic, app in-app traffic sources that are overpriced. And when we're talking about in-app traffic sources, there are also quite a few of them. I would suggest Unity, OneGo, ShareIt, Liftoff, AppLovin, and IronSource, for example. And let me just add a little bit of the insight, like one of the latest ad campaigns that we were running for the cryptocurrency exchange for the geography of Turkey, the CPA lead was around $7. So you have like the indication of what's the lead price here.
So $7.
Yeah.
Is it for a paying client?
It's for the installation of
For
the
the installer,
yeah.
right? And what was the conversion rate from the installation to the paying, like let's say to the paying client or to the registered client or to the active users, whatever. Pick one, whatever you want.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I cannot tell you more details right now, but I will send you more detailed information after we finish our webinar session.
Okay. Lubov, I believe it's really interesting information for our audience. So what's the benchmark?
The benchmark, it also depending on the vertical and
No. I mean, in the case you've been mentioning, the crypto exchange in Turkey, what was the benchmark on the market?
Honestly, I think I'm not the most expert member in our AdSkill family to say the benchmark. I'm more on the branding and marketing thing. So for
Great.
this, we will have to address our like supervisor team or media buying. And
Perfect. Yeah, I mean,
probably after this webinar session, and you are asking me this question, they're very interesting. So we will create more educational stuff and we'll be covering this. So please stay tuned and read our next cases,
yes,
okay?
please. Yeah, perfect. That's a great way to do this. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And here we're talking about chatbots. And yeah, I have some expertise in chatbots. I've been doing them for like, I guess, a decent 5 years so far. And usually when you talk about chatbots, you mean two kind of chatbots. It's the support chatbot and the chatbot which is a part of your sales funnel. So for the support chatbot is, it's like the one chatbot when you go to the website and you have a question, you just find this kind of widget on the right or on the left corner of your website, and you can chat with the robot or you can chat with the human. But whatever you do, it's not always available 24/7. That's the problem. And usually the chatbot is not really oriented for the lead generation, but it really helps with your lifetime value and the retention rate for your product. And but if we talk about lead generation, there is a special chatbots which are created for that, and they become a part of your sales funnel. To be honest, to use chatbots, it's better to create a different sales funnel than you usually use, because if you want to implement chatbot in your strategy, you need to consider first, you will spend some money and some time to create them. Second is that chatbots, they cannot really cover all the questions that can come up. Third thing, because it's reducing human costs. There's also a problem with the user experience, because if you actually having a client with some kind of problems who trying to register and he thinks that he can use the chatbot to ask a question, but there is no human behind that, it can be a problem and you can actually lose the lead. But again, talking about the chatbot, it's just a powerful tool to have, and just to try one of the hypotheses for your marketing strategy. So, Lubov, maybe do you have something here to add?
Well, I just wanted to then to shift to the voice search, because actually voice search is just another interface of the chatbot. And as the chatbot, they're also becoming the part of the funnel. Do you realize that these days, 20% of the searches in the Google app are now done by voice? This is like quite a massive number. And obviously voice searches, they differ a lot from the conventional text searches, and because of that, if you incorporate this into your strategy, you need to really do the SEO for the voice search, because it is not the same thing, and you need to know that the audience talks in a conversational manner, so they usually pinpoints, and they ask question like what, when, and now, and you need to optimize your content on your website to address these issues concisely. And specifically, you will have to work on the frequently asked question section, because this will give you the best optimization for the voice search. And what else can I tell you? For example, you need to understand who is the target audience and what the are expectation from the voice interface. What are the main tasks that the users will be performing using the voice, and what is the likelihood that the user will rely on the voice interaction. And this all is just a really very critical aspect. And once you find the answer to this fundamental question, you will have to create and map out the user scenarios, the journey map, how they really navigate and use the voice search. Yeah, that's it. Basically, what I wanted to cover. But another interesting fact about adoption of these technologies and the differences between the age categories that using it. For example. The chatbots are typically adopted by the Generation Z, whilst the voice search is mainly used by millennials. Are you an adopter of any of those?
No, I'm definitely. I mean, I'm the adopter of chatbot. Definitely,
Okay.
I'm using chatbots. I mean, I prefer more human communication, to be honest, but I definitely hate any kind of voice communication. I mean, I can call people and I'm fine with calling, but when it comes to the voice bots, I mean, in my opinion, for me as a young person, using voice bots, which are like Now you can ask your question. It's just impossible to use for me, but I know that my grandmother, she's using that almost on the daily basis. So let's say that chatbots, they're not only for Gen Z, but also for, late millennials.
Yeah.
But, voice search is more about early millennials and boomers, right?
Yeah, but to conclude this, the cultural aspect of adopting these technologies is that you need to really know who is your target audience and integrate these tools accordingly. That's the key thing here.
Yep, that's true. All right, let's go to the next slide. And that's question time. And I'm just wondering if we have any kind of questions here. So I see that there's a question. Could you tell a bit more about design for flow?
Yeah,
Lubov, do
design
you
for.
know what's that?
I think we were talking about the exactly the customer journey map for the voice chat. Yeah, I think this is that. That's exactly you need to map out the how the user interacts and what type of questions he asks and what type of the feedback that he's expecting from you. This is the design flow that I mentioned in my slides.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I guess it's a topic for the next webinar to talk about the customer journey mapping because, I mean, I
Absolutely.
spent around a year to discover how it works and, like how to create a right customer journey map, what information you need to use, and all of this stuff. By the way, guys, I didn't mention that. Please ask your questions in the chat right now, and we will try to answer all of them. We have around like 15-20 minutes to answer your questions. And I see that there's a next question from Marco. Paid versus organic promotion in Web3. Sounds like a topic for the next webinar as well, right? But anyway, I want to share my thoughts about that. I mean, it's really like when you're saying organic, you mean free probably, but that's not honestly true because the paid promotion and organic promotion is also paid. You need to invest a lot of money to optimize the search engine, to optimize your website for the search engine, and the search engine marketing is really, really expensive. From my point of view, if you're a young startup and you need to show traction on the monthly or sometimes on weekly basis to your potential investors, you are in incubator or accelerator, and you need to show traction and you need to raise money. Organic promotion is not really the best choice for you, and you need to look for some paid traffic, paid promotion, paid advertisement. Probably you need to use influencers and Facebook advertisement, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. Because if you need to show traction, spending your time and money to create articles, to create really, like the Binance Academy stuff, all of that, it really takes a lot of time and money, and it's not going to show a lot, mm, you know, a lot of, let's say, a result, right? So, Lubov, do you have something here to say?
No, I absolutely agree with you. And to me, you have to combine those two categories. But in the short term, they probably can, the paid lead generation, it's probably going to give you more leads straight away if your campaign setup is correct. But if we are talking about the organic way to build your community, all of these instruments that we covered in our webinar, this is a longer process, but it actually adds a lot of value to the brand and to the loyalty of your adopters, of your clients, and credibility and transparency. So it's not, I think that the final goal for these two clusters of instruments, they are slightly different, but overall the same, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I understand what you mean. Let's go to the next question because I hope, Marco, we answered your question here. Paulina has a question about, are there any platforms specifically for chatbots? I mean, there's, plenty of them. You can, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not going to be rude, but you can Google them because for different results, you need different platforms. If you need a support bot, I can really suggest Zendesk or Intercom. There's like two major players. When it comes to sales, you can try to use Pipedrive, for example. It's really powerful tool. I mean, Pipedrive is a sales CRM, right? But they also have the chatbot, which can be a part of your lead generation strategy. Let's go to another question. Nathan has a question. What is your experience with educational content? I mean, everyone uses, and how not to overdo the educational content. Lubov, do you have something here to share? Because I'm not sure that I can properly answer this question.
Um, I'm not quite sure if I got the question right. Not what, what
So
does it mean by not overdo the
let me rephrase. So let's say what's the best practices for educational content? Where to start? Let's say, right?
Well, I can definitely advise when creating an original educational text. You have to understand that everything you can Google everything right now, right? So instead of just writing exactly the same thing that you can find easily online available for you, you need to add more practical information, industry insights, really bring the value of your company, of your brand that's gonna bring more value to the person that reads it and show you as an expert. And yeah, I think that that's the point of educational context, that don't go too general, be more specific and just yeah, be more specific and precise, practicality,
Yeah,
that's what.
I'm 100% agree with you here. So yeah, thank you for answering this question because I mean, I also have a lot of experience with that. I believe less than you, but when it comes to educational content, you really need to know your niche, right? If you will go, as you said, too broad, that's not going to work. If you're, I don't know, for example, you're a crypto exchange, don't start your educational content about what is blockchain. That's actually the mistake that we did in the beginning. We have, if you will go to our YouTube channel, you will see videos like what is stablecoin, what is blockchain. And I mean, Banxe is serving businesses on Web3 market. So believe me, our clients, they definitely know what is blockchain, and they don't need to answer. They don't need the answer for that. So first of all, know your audience. Second, know your niche. Marco has another question. Thank you, Marco. Organic growth, best practices. I want to share my thoughts about this. Lubov, can I?
Sure, go for it, please.
Thank you. So the first thing is YouTube. YouTube is one of the most powerful organic growth channel. I mean, if you want to grow organically, use YouTube. What I'm doing usually, I'm looking for the keyword. For example, what is blockchain? And I see that there's videos that have millions and millions of views. And I believe that if I create a video which is like what is blockchain, I will get at least 100 views, which is good if you're a new channel. But maybe you can be even more specific. For example, you are talking about marketing. If you will be very general about marketing, it's not going to be interesting. For example, Lubov will start her own YouTube channel about Facebook marketing, and that will be her niche. And she will talk about Facebook advertisement on a weekly basis. She will answer all the frequently asked questions, and every time you will go to YouTube or to even Google and say, let's say you will search how to start your crypto campaign in Facebook. Lubov has the similar video on YouTube. Google will put her video on the top of the search because that's how Google algorithms works today. So consider YouTube as one of the best long-term organic channel. Also, shorts, reels, and TikTok videos. That's for this format is really powerful And if you're able to create content on the daily basis, you will really get a lot of exposure and you will get a lot of, a high reach of clients. And it's 100% organic usually. The only thing you need to spend time and sometimes money to create the content. But honestly, TikTok, Shorts, and Reels is really powerful channels for organic growth. Lubov, do you have something to share here?
Uh, Now, maybe just like keywords, and that the organic growth is really a systematic and a long process. So you have to be patient and really invest your time and your resources into doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So the next question is from Anthony DiMarsico, who's actually our co-founder
Wow.
and the CEO of Banxe in North America. Anthony, thanks for the question. And that's the question that he actually asks me every time. Alex, we need to stand out. Come on, what you do? So here's the question. What could you do to make your Web3 company stand out to investor? And that's a great question, Anthony, because you must do everything here. So when I'm saying everything, you need to prepare a great pitch deck. That's the first thing. A great pitch deck is a deal maker. Then you need to know your finances. You need to prepare your P&L analysis, your balance sheets, and all the financial information must be prepared. You need to have all the documents. You need to be very structured. You need to know how to pitch your company. If you have 3 minutes to pitch, you have 3 minutes to pitch. Don't try to pitch for 5 minutes when they say it's 3 minutes. And always answer the questions, because if you get the question and you cannot really answer that, it's okay to say I don't know what you're talking about. But if they ask what's the revenue for the last year in your company, you better answer that, right? So for investors, it's not about marketing but more about finances, I believe. But Lubov, maybe you have some other experience.
Well, if Anthony really asked you this question several times already, you had a chance to prepare the best answer for that, right?
Kind
I
of.
mean, yeah, but for the cooperation, not the cooperation, that's the wrong word. When you're dealing with investors, I think you need to be also how would you say, like to have a credibility. You need to have you also can go to your PR background check to see what other the reviews on the internet, what kind of answers you can see online about your brand or company. That's also quite a thing that investors do. They check your background.
Yeah.
And you can always yeah, go to the Crunchbase and see the previous history of what's been done with this company before. So yeah, there are a lot of
No,
tools
I
in the
mean,
internet these days, so you cannot hide facts. It's pretty transparent. Transparency, that's the
yeah,
key
that's
for the
true.
investor.
By the way, talking about investors, and it's also will be a part of the answer for Marco. LinkedIn is very, very important. So if you want to raise some funds from VCs or angel investors, you really need to prepare your LinkedIn. And I believe, Lubov, it will be a great, a great idea to have another webinar about LinkedIn, not about the LinkedIn marketing, but about how you manage your LinkedIn account, LinkedIn profile, and how you make your profile attractive for your clients, for your investors, and maybe if you're looking for a job for the employers, right? Because LinkedIn today is probably the only professional social media which gives you a really big potential for the organic growth. And you need to consider LinkedIn if you're a startup. I mean, it's a great way to get some professional exposure, and if you're a B2B startup, LinkedIn is a must, definitely.
I totally agree with you that
So
LinkedIn is a very powerful instrument for your personal, professional path and for your company brand as well. And yeah, as you've mentioned, we are not only talking about the paid campaign, but the organic setup of your profile, your company page. And here, probably it's worth to mention that the content that people post in LinkedIn also differs from another platforms. And here we are talking about more personalized achievements and your um, like personalized content. It's not
Yeah.
just the industry news. It's more talking about yourself and your company. Yeah, that's very important.
When we talk about content marketing, don't try to sell anything. That's my opinion. Especially if we are talking about some organic growth and some organic channels. If you will try to sell, it's not going to be viral, and it goes together with the thing you just mentioned. You need to create some personal content. You need to, and when we talk personal, think about that. You need to have really good texts. You need to have the idea, and people who read you or watch you or listen to you, depends on the channel, they need to understand why you talk about that. For example, if I will start talking about, I don't know, biology today, and I have zero experience in marketing. I have, oops, I have experience in marketing. Don't worry, guys. I have zero experience in biology, and if I will start talking about biology because I read some articles and books, no one's going to trust me, and that will be stupid. So, when I talk about marketing with my marketing background, when I talk about sales with my sales background, I'm an expert here and I know what I'm talking. But if I will start talking about the topics that I'm not an expert, it's not going to work and people will see that you're not an expert. Don't think that people are stupid. So whenever you are not really into the topic, it's better to, not to share your thoughts before you're 100% sure what you're talking about. Lubov, do you agree here or you have other thoughts?
Um, well, what if these people are just in early stages of their career, but they want to at least try, you know,
No, I
where,
mean they definitely can try. I'm not saying you don't need to try. I'm just saying that don't try to be an. I mean, it's more about if you don't really understand what you're talking about,
yeah,
first, become confident about that. Because if, as I'm saying, I can write about biology on my LinkedIn. It makes no sense in my opinion. But let's imagine that I will, after this webinar, I will write something about on the biological topic. It's not going to make sense for anyone, and there probably some facts that I will use. I can't be sure, and I probably don't know how to check them. So the fact checking is not going to be proper, right? So if you're just starting your career in biology and you want to share your thoughts, that's fine, because probably you will share, some facts that you actually. Anyway, you already have some biological background. You're just starting there, but for the people who are not there, that will be tough. I hope I'm clear here.
yeah, yeah, you are clear.
All right. So Marco, he just commented that they're actually a Web3 platform for syndicate VCs and angel investing plus fundraising. Marco, that's great. And that's impressive. I mean, probably you need to contact us later and we can think about some kind of collaboration, right, Lubov?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Perfect.
that would be interesting. I am always excited to know about great products or business ideas.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go further. So that's the QR codes. If you're watching us from your laptop, you can scan them and you can see and explore the Banxe website. You also can explore AdSkill website and see all the USPs, unique sales propositions from AdSkill and Banxe. One more time, Banxe is a banking app that helps businesses across Europe and UK and opens a banking account. You can have a dedicated IBAN, a sort code accounts for pounds, and you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies with us. We have 500 cryptocurrencies which you can buy and sell. Also, you can send and receive both fiat and crypto. Lubov, can you present AdSkill one more time today,
Of course,
please?
with a pleasure. So, AdSkill is a company. If you want to launch or scale your ad campaigns, we are official partners of the vast majority of traffic sources like Meta or Google, and we work with most of the verticals and with most of geographies. If you want to start your ad campaign, please come to us, talk with us. We're going to be more than happy to assist you in achieving a new business goals.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, last chance to scan the QR code, guys. And in 1, 2, 3, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here today, for listening our speech. And I hope it was valuable content for you. I hope you liked what Lubov shared with you. I hope you like what I shared with you. It was 1 hour of sharing the content, and I believe that we will have more and more content upcoming in this year. Lubov, please
Yeah.
comment that and let's say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, thank you, the audience. Thank you, Banxe. And I will be definitely looking for the next sessions.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.